This is Theremin 30. 30 minutes of theremin music, news, events, and interviews with a new episode about every 30 days. Now, here's your host, Rick Reed.
Hey there, welcome to the 57th edition of the Theremin 30 podcast. It's March 2026, and the show got started way back in April of 2019. So if you're a new listener, you have some catching up to do. This time around, we'll catch up with some thereminists from the USA, Scotland, and France, and my special guest is Keri Latimer. She's probably best known for guitar, vocals, and theremin playing in the alt-folk band Leaf Rapids, but she's got a new electronic album out this month as well. We featured the first single in the February 2026 episode, and you'll get to hear a bit more later in the show. To get started, I've got a groovy new track called Galaxina. It's the first single from the forthcoming Armin Ra album that is being financed with a crowdfunding campaign. And after that, the Edinburgh-based thereminist Guillaume Subra plays his new composition in a classical style. I'll tell you more about both recordings on the other side. We started the show with Galaxina, a new single by Armin Ra. It's from his 7th album set for release later this spring. Last year, Armin reached out to his fans through a GoFundMe campaign to help cover the cost of the recording. More than 100 fans have answered the call so far. If you like what you hear and want to show your support, follow the GoFundMe link in this month's show notes. After that, I played Autumn, Fall of the Last Leaf. It's a new original composition by Scotland-based thereminist Guillaume Subra. This is his first appearance as a solo artist on this show. Back in the September 2024 episode, he was one of 24 thereminists who performed on a track called Teenage Message 2, which was recorded at the inaugural International Theremin Camp in Denmark, an event that Guillaume helped organize. The second edition of the International Theremin Camp returns to the Copenhagen area June 22nd through the 26th. There's a good chance that it's sold out by now, but there's a link on our events calendar if you want to check on availability. And speaking of the calendar, here are some upcoming highlights. Monday, March 9th is the 115th anniversary of Clara Rockmore's birth. Dorrit Chrysler presents a theremin demo and workshop near Austin, Texas on March 19th. Stephen Ham Theremin Man has a show on March 20th in Vancouver, Canada. On March 22nd, thereminists from around Amsterdam will gather for a Therameeting, a combination social gathering and concert. And the All Japan Theremin Festival is set for March 28th, with a pop-up theremin museum and performances by nearly 20 artists, including Machikato Machiko, the Tokyo Theremin Orchestra, and Yoko Onishi. For details about these events and more, click on the calendar tab at theremin30.com. Up next, I want to play a song by Charlotte Dubois that I should have had in the podcast last summer, but I just didn't have a place for it at the time. The French title of this song is Les Mains Électriques. In English, it's called Electric Hands. Charlotte Dubois plays the Moog Clarivox theremin, the Arturia Microfreak keyboard, and the Arturia Minilab virtual synth plugin. She made a fascinating music video for this track, and I've added it to the Theremin 30 YouTube playlist. In past episodes, I've played contemporary folk music from the Winnipeg, Canada-based band Leaf Rapids. Now the vocalist and thereminist of that band, Keri Latimer, has a solo project that takes off in an entirely different direction under the artist name óFukami. I played the first single from the album in my previous episode, and I got to visit with Keri a couple of weeks ago. Keri Latimer, welcome to the Theremin 30 podcast.
Thank you very much. I really enjoy your show.
Thank you, and we've had you on the show a few times, your music anyway, a couple of your tracks with your alt-folk band Leaf Rapids, and also I think you were a guest on a kids album, and I played a little bit of that outer space thing that you did.
Yeah, I'm pretty into outer space all the time.
How were you introduced to the theremin?
I was introduced to the theremin a long time ago when my old band Nathan, there was a song, and there was a part of the song that we wanted that sound, and so we kind of went down a rabbit hole because we wanted that spacey when the UFOs come down in the old 50s movies. So we had to look it up. What was it? Who plays that? Nobody. Nobody around us anyway. We didn't even think we could get the instrument, so we kind of were going to ditch that idea. And then weirdly, my husband and I were in a music store here, Mother's Music, and found one in a corner covered in dust, half price. They just didn't know what to do with it, and it was so exciting. And so we were both going to learn it, and my husband just abandoned it after about 5 minutes. And I just became obsessed, and I don't know, it was a definite connection. I really, really love it.
You have a new album called When the Future Tried to Take Me. Tell me about that. How'd that get going?
Well, I had been playing theremin for quite a while, and I have, as you said, a sort of roots Americana side to me. So that's my band Leaf Rapids, and I've incorporated some theremin into that. But I also do some movie scoring and film work, and so I really like using the theremin just instrumentally because it already sounds like a voice with no language. And I've just been finding as I'm getting more experience on it, it's kind of becoming like a voice for me. Like I can control it as I control my voice. So it's kind of the only instrument I can even improvise on because I can directly play what I hear now, which is amazing for me. And so I've been exploring more projects with dance and just instrumental music.
So this new album, you have a different artist name, óFukami. What does that mean?
óFukami is sort of a conglomeration of the heritage that I have from my family. So my mom is Japanese, and my great-grandmother's last name was Fukami. And then I have an Irish, Celtic, Scottish side. So I took the O from kind of like O'Sullivan or something like that. And because Mick Fukami didn't roll off the tongue as nicely. So I just tried to incorporate my two heritages.
This new album is very experimental, electronic, sort of sci-fi. Is it telling a story from track to track, or the album as a whole?
You know, I began it with a story in mind, and then I kind of broke it up into chapters, and then I was trying to emote each kind of chapter. But then as I was working on it, it completely took on a life of its own. In fact, it was really interesting because I was fighting it at first, and then I just had to give in and let some of the voices kind of take over. Like I used some filters, humanoid, for kind of robotic sounding male, like masculine sounds, and then I used a lot of voice in this, but I wasn't using language. I was kind of making up words just so it could be pure emotion. But so it started with a story, but then it took on a life of its own, and now I don't know what the story is, but I think there is one in there somewhere. Maybe it's dependent on you.
The theremin plays a role in the album, but it's not really the focus, I would say. What other instruments do you have in the mix?
I only have I was using a virtual ARP 2600. I would love to get a real one. I just love that sound.
An Arturia plugin that you use in a DAW, or?
Yeah, that's exactly it. One thing I love about the virtual is that I can save the settings because I'm not completely savvy on the instrument, so I like that part. There actually is quite a lot of theremin layers, but it's not all the melody. You're right there. And then a lot of voice, and then a little tiny bit of koto, but that's about it. The rest is just delay and effects.
Now, I've seen the album notes. I think you said makeshift koto?
Yeah, I was part of a project with my cousin where we were kind of exploring when the Japanese internment in the Second World War. And so our family, you probably already know the story because it happened in the U.S. as well, but there were internment camps, and there was also an option if you wanted to keep your family together, you could go work basically slave labor on sugar beet farms in Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba and maybe Ontario too. So that's what our family chose to do. They basically had a few days to leave their house, and they could take 100 pounds each of belongings to wherever they were going. A koto is quite a large instrument, so they couldn't bring a lot of their instruments. They had to leave everything. So I made a project for myself where I had to make a koto out of whatever I had in my house. And so I used nylon fishing string and some old guitar strings, and I made cut up an old shelf, and I made my own koto. So I used that.
Has that experience of your family, has that influenced your musical choices along the way?
Yeah, it has a lot. I'm still feeling sort of separate from my Japanese heritage, and it's kind of cool that you brought that up because I am now working with some Buto dancers. I don't know if you're familiar with that form of dance, but it originated out of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's not pretty dance. It's more, I guess it's more performance, and the dancers shave their heads and they're coated in white, so they kind of look a little bit apocalyptic. And they're nude most of the time, or a lot of that, how it started they were. And but anyway, I'm going to be working with a company, Kokoro Dance in Vancouver, where we're going to be collaborating this summer, and I'm starting to work with a Buto dancer in Winnipeg. So I'm sort of going to lead this into a more dance direction, I think. And maybe even do some of my own if I can not be chicken.
The album, I believe, was, I don't know if is funded the right word, by a couple of arts grants, including one having to do with your Japanese heritage?
Mm-hmm. The Japanese Canadian Legacy Society got some funding for, artists of all genres and like music and art or visual and mental health things. They just, they started, they had a big grant application, and I was lucky enough to receive some funding.
I was a little puzzled at first by the titles of the songs on your new album. It took me a minute. I'm a little older than you, I think. And so you young folks, you call it leet speak or something like that?
I don't know.
Or you substitute?
I don't even know. I'm not of that either. I was trying to figure out how to do it without any language, but it's sort of hard. I wanted to, thank people and have some English in there, but I'm actually starting to work on a language that I can use in the future that isn't based on any language. It's going to be more vowels and emotive sounds.
Kind of your version of Klingon or something like
that. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, for the listeners who don't know what I'm talking about, the song titles are spelled with numbers substituting for some of the letters, and it took me a while to figure out how to say them, but eventually I figured it out. Now, you have another project besides the new album. You're going on kind of a mini tour in the month of March.
Yeah, my folk side is going to be a troubadour in Ontario for the next couple weeks and a half, and I'm going on tour with my friend Anna Lou, and we're going to sing. It's a home roots tour, which is a tour set up kind of really grassroots, and we play in people's living rooms for 30 to 50 people, and they host us and they let us stay there and they feed us, and Home Roots sets out the whole tour too with a couple of hours of driving each day, so it's a really nice, I feel really grateful to be part of this because I can just go sing some songs in people's living rooms.
Sing, play theremin, and play guitar?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me. It's great to finally talk to you after featuring your music on the show a few times.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and I love also that you keep doing this show. It's so great. There aren't a lot of theremin shows, I wouldn't say, or you might be the only one.
Yeah, I think I may be, yes. Keri Latimer's new album, When the Future Tried to Take Me, comes out on March 25th. You can pre-order a CD, vinyl, or download through her website. Look for the link in this month's show notes. Let's finish the show now with another track from the album. This is Keri Latimer as óFukami, and a track called either K155 or Kiss. Thanks so much to Armin Ra, Guillaume Subra, Charlotte Dubois, and Keri Latimer for sharing their music. Also, thanks to Keri for being my interview guest. Please support these artists by purchasing their music and attending their performances whenever possible. And as always, a big thanks goes to the listeners who support this podcast with small one-time or monthly donations. Till next time, I'm your host, Rick Reed. I'll see you somewhere in the ether.
You've been listening to the Theremin 30 podcast. Visit Theremin 30 on the web at theremin30.com.